Egypt will vote for a new government in September to replace the military administration that took over after the fall of Hosni Mubarak. The Muslim Brotherhood, banned by Mubarak, says it will contest half the seats. But a new poll suggests that so far the Islamist group has only limited support. Take a look at the numbers here. Just 15% of Egyptians polled between March and April said they would support the Muslim Brotherhood. But 69% said they want religious leaders to have some sort of advisory role in a new government. The election remains wide open, however. 60% of respondents to the poll said they're undecided about whom to support. And joining us to talk about all of this from Cairo is Dalia Mogahed, the director and senior analyst at the Gallup Center. Dalia, thank you for your time. First of all, let me ask you about this. The U.S., for example, is one of the countries that has expressed a lot of concern about a religious theocracy emerging in Egypt. But according to your polling, Egyptians don't seem to have much of a taste for that. What else is deeper in the polling to suggest why that is the case for Egyptians?
What we have to understand is that Egyptians have a somewhat complex view of the kind of government they want. First, they are very strong in their democratic aspirations. They want freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly. At the same time, they want religious principles to guide the democratic process, but don't want a theocracy. Most say that religious leaders should be limited to just an advisory role. So it would be inaccurate to say that religion will play no role, but at the same time, Egypt does not want to become another Iran. In fact, when we asked people their model, only less than 1% said that they wanted to emulate Iran.
Dalia, I got to tell you, there's some astonishing numbers in the poll. Let's take a look at, I guess, what folks in America like to call the right track, wrong track numbers here. How optimistic are Egyptians about the country's future?
Egyptians are very optimistic about their future despite short-term economic hardships. And that's, I think, the most important part of this poll, is that there is a window of hope right now. It might start to close, but right now we have a population that believes the future will be better politically and economically and are excited to stay and participate in building a new Egypt.
And how optimistic, this is another, I think, pretty fascinating number from the poll. The parliamentary elections are coming in September, and there is even optimism there, a lot of optimism, that the elections will be fair.
Right. 9 out of 10 Egyptians believe that the next elections will be fair and honest. And that compares to only 28% who said that they had confidence in the honesty of elections before the revolution. So there is a huge surge in confidence in the fairness of the political system. It's also interesting to note that 9 out of 10 say that they plan to vote.
Yeah, you know, but the bottom line for a lot of Egyptians is going to be the economy. What's happening with my personal economy? And Egyptians are really concerned.
Absolutely. They're concerned about their local economy. They are saying that they believe that the local economy is getting worse despite their optimism about the general national economy. They say that their satisfaction with their standard of living is going down. Even their assessment of their personal life as a whole has decreased since right before the revolution. And that's why it's so noteworthy that they still remain so optimistic. So things have gotten harder for people. They don't have access to basic necessities. And one very important necessity is that of security. People are much more likely to say that they're simply afraid to walk alone at night, which wasn't the case before the revolution. So there are challenges that Egyptians are facing, despite the assets that they have to work with.
One last one for you, Dalia. Are Egyptians wary of the Americans?
They are. Not only are Egyptians afraid of getting their purse stolen, they're also afraid of getting their revolution stolen, essentially, by outside powers. The majority believe that the United States will not allow this region to fashion its own political future without interference. And that's why it's so important for the U.S. to tread softly in this critical time in its support of democracy in Egypt. It really has to stand for democratic principles and not specific parties or individuals.
Dahlia, a lot of fascinating facts and information in that poll. Well done. Dahlia Mogahed is the director and senior analyst for the Gallup Center, joining us from Abu Dhabi. Dahlia, thank you. Good to see you.